for a while now, and it has been working. So for those people that are serious on using this template, take your time as much as possible to watch this video many times as you can, because you cannot grab everything I'm going to explain at once. So first of all, the time frame I mostly use on this template is the 4-hour time frame, 15-minute time frame, and the 1-minute time frame. Now let's read everything first of all before we go to the charts. So the 4 hours is where you set your bias to understand the initial trend and the overall trend. You understand? I said two things, initial and overall. So identify the overall trend, either bullish or bearish. Then understand the bigger move, that is the direction, which is the initial trend. So 15-minute time frame is to find setup. Look for tradable opportunities. Mark your point of interest and identify liquidity zones. Then you wait for confirmation in the 15-minute time frame. Wait for a change of character or MSS. No confirmation, no trade. Now this thing is very essential because the 15-minute time frame tells you if the 4-hour time frame is ready to move. You understand? So if the 15-minute time frame is still consolidating, it simply means liquidity is being created for the 4-hour time frame. But the moment 15-minute time frame is being liquidated and we have a change of character or a break of structure, then price is now ready to start moving. I will explain all these things carefully in this video. The video might be a bit lengthy, but try as much as possible to understand because it's a template, not just a video. Now, the 1-minute entry, most of you are even familiar with this entry. You drop to the 1-minute time frame after 15-minute time frame confirmation. Then you wait for another change of character. Look for a clean structure shift. Now, the structure must be same as what happened in the 15-minute time frame. So, 15-minute time frame has its own confirmation. The 1-minute time frame too needs to have its own confirmation that it's ready to deliver to the 15-minute time frame, and the 15-minute time frame is also ready to deliver to the 4-hour time frame. You see, now all the time frames agree. So, and then enter only after full confirmation. Set tight stop losses and follow your risk management. So, number one rule: if any setup is missing, skip the trade. So let's go over to the chart so that we'll be able to understand what we need to do. So first of all, I'll explain normal market structure concepts, because if you just know normal market structure and you don't understand the advanced part of it, it will be very hard. So currently now you can see that we have just one leg here. Let me just make this so that you see it only. If you some of you might be trading this pattern, which is just looking at this leg like this, you can see that. Okay, let's start from here. You can see we have a break of structure to the downside, and this one is internally. So let's judge. Some of you might say, okay, we had a break of structure to the downside. This is a change of character. This is now a break of structure, and price is pulling back. So we'll buy from this other block here, which is fine. It's not bad. You understand? But on the other hand, this is just internal structure and normal market structure. The advanced part of it is when you look at the overall trend of every time frame. This thing happens in every time frame. So if you look at the 15-minute time frame, we are currently bearish. And what now happened? Price now changed character. Why? Because there was a break in the highs. So currently we are looking at 15-minute time frame is not yet ready for, or let's say it's already dishing out something for the 4-hour time frame. So I have a change of character here. You can see it here. So I have not really confirmed this if it's really a change of character because my markings are not correct. So let's do that quickly. So turn on the magnet. That's the reason why I use magnet. So turn on the magnet. Now when you turn on this magnet, it helps you to snap to the candle tip. So let's try as much as possible to snap to this candle. Let me zoom. Alright, so there we go. So I'll turn off the candles, the magnet. So then we stretch it over to the other side. Now this helps us to know if it really broke or it's just a sweep. You understand? So make sure that this line is aligning. Yes. So let's look at it very well. So that was a change of character. So what do we see? We wait for price now to start giving us a kind of pullback. So that is when you now use your internal structure to look for probable points of entry. So we have another block that has been mitigated. So we also have like a kind of other block. There's a way I mark this other block. I just marked the overall. So we have one other block here. This one is not classified as another block because it does not have a pullback, but this one is the main other block that has been mitigated. So I'll still mark it because it's the one that is more clear. So what we use to validate our other block is lower time frame confirmation. So we also have another other block around this area here. So let's just leave it like that. I'm not make the video too long. It's already 6 minutes already. So once you understand what the 15-minute time frame is doing, in fact, you're supposed to even be doing it in the 4-hour time frame first. But anyways, let me explain it slowly. So currently, this is my 4-hour time frame analysis. If you want to do normal simple analysis, you will say this leg is bearish, right? Which is correct. It's bearish. but at the other hand, it's still bullish. Now we now know what the 15-minute time frame and the 4-hour time frame they are doing. So what do? We look at what the 4-hour time frame wants to deliver. Where is price going to? Price is going to sweep the buy side liquidity to drop back down to this order block before we look for buying opportunities. That's why we're saying that the 15-minute time frame is giving us a change of character. Do you understand? So now that change of character has been understood, that okay, that's the reason why we want to change character. So we will still take the 15-minute time frame as bullish, not because the 4-hour time frame is pulling back, then we'll just follow in with the 15-minute time frame. No, if the 15-minute time frame is not bullish and the 4-hour time frame is bullish, we treat them differently until one agrees with the other. So the 15-minute time frame must agree with the 4-hour time frame before we can now say yes, we're ready to what, continue or go together. You understand? So these are the probable place for the 4-hour time frame to react from for now. So we know that in the advanced structure format we are bullish. Why? Because if you just say this place is a breakout structure, this, please try and watch this video. I know it's very long, but try and watch it. So if you say that this place is a breakout structure, it's only happened in the 15-minute time frame. So on the 4-hour time frame, it's not a breakout structure, it's a liquidity that was taken. You understand? So that now becomes another block because it broke structure. You can see it here, that price broke structure. So since price broke structure, then we know that we have a bearish breakout structure, another bearish breakout structure, and this was the last high, and price has taken the high already. So that is why we are what? We are bearish. We are bullish on GBP USD. So the 15-minute time frame is not yet ready to be bearish. That is to drop down to this other block. You understand? So it's going to clear more liquidity from the buy side. So the moment it clears all the buy side liquidity, then we'll be looking out for taking the sell side liquidity, which is this other block. So any other block is going to react from lower time frame confirmation will help us to know. So the moment it gets here, what you do is you wait for a reaction from the 15-minute time frame, which is 15-minute time frame will give you a change of character, telling you that okay, buyers wants to relax in this particular point. So that's the initiation. Then the next step is to wait for a more lower time frame confirmation, which is the 1-minute time frame. So I don't have any trade illustration to give you, but I'll give you a very good example. So for example, if, like I was saying, if the 15-minute time frame already give you a breakout structure, you can see that it's bearish. In this illustration, what you do is you wait for price to break the last low that created the bearish move. So once price breaks it like this, make sure it breaks with the candle body. Then you wait for a pullback. This is where you now get lower time frame confirmation. So inside that zone, you want to see something similar to the 15-minute time frame, which is this. So it's something like this. So since we are bearish, the 1-minute time frame will be like this. Then we now have a change of character, and we wait for a pullback to this point like this. Then we buy. So that's just simply how the template works. So if you can be able to put this into practice, it will really help you a lot, like a lot. You understand? So let's go back to the normal basics. You look for your market structure, understand it very cleanly. Then you what? You understand your points of interest. So we know that our point of interest is not yet the 4-hour time frame. It's still the 15-minute time frame, which is the 15-minute time frame is still giving us what? Bullish intent. So we don't need to ignore that because the 4-hour time frame is pulling back. No. Since the 15-minute time frame has given us a bullish intent, we need to follow the progress until price changes again. So for you not to be taken out by the market or just taking random trades, lower time frame confirmation helps you to know if it's still going to continue. You understand? So that's it, guys. So try your best and understand this. If you have any question, I can relate it to you. You can also read the template carefully, take your trades too with that. So that's it. And lastly, one thing that you must take note of is if price is, let's say price is supposed to come to this order block and price now came to this place like this, it simply means price has grabbed liquidity from another point of interest. So this thing mostly happens in the 1-minute time frame or sometimes in the 15-minute time frame, but it's most commonly present in the 1-minute time frame. So this comes where you see something like breaker block and stuff like mitigation. So if you don't understand breaker block, it will be a little bit hard. So breaker block is like, currently this place was bearish, right? It's supposed to hold price, so price broke it, so it becomes a breaker. Price broke it, right? So this place like this is a probable point of interest, so price can still use it as what? Entry. Then again, we also have another point of interest here that price can still use, because this place was like a point of interest too, and price broke it, so price can still use it like this. So this one aligns with your what? Your supply, your demand zone, so you can just mark it overall like this, so that when price is coming, it just taps you in straight up. So if you understand just this little concept like this, you'll be able to do make some profit for yourself. So this is how I used to do it. Even though I hit losses sometimes, that's the game. Just continue repeating, and if you check your overall win, you see that you are making progress. The only thing is have proper risk management. That's just the key. Once you have proper risk management, then you are good to go. So that's it, guys.